Welcome once more to the TaylorJones show. Today's focus will be on Dr. Jill Stein. We are in our third episode, third and final. Well, I won't say final because we'll be bringing you wonderful things that she's doing, but this is our in-depth final day for talking about this wonderful, wonderful candidate that we sincerely, with all our hearts, hopes will be going into the White House come January 20th, 2017. How refreshing it is to have a candidate that focuses on the issues, focuses on what is right in America and what is wrong and needs to be repaired, rather than the divisive activities going on between the two major candidates of the two major greedy parties, both Republicans and Democrats. How refreshing it is to see a friendly face, one that's not snarling up and scaring people away, voters, fellow politicians, that later on will have to be met with across aisles and what have you to make things better for our country. That is who Jill Stein is. A friendly, wonderful, strong woman who will get in there and do what is right for all the people in this nation. And that's what we need. We don't need orange-haired bullies or crazed criminals, former criminals, running the White House, trying to, mess up the country further. We need someone that'll go in there and clean house, put things back in order, create and develop new things like jobs, infrastructure, clean energy, and all that sort of thing. That's Dr. Jill Stein, and that's who we need in the White House. So don't let what people tell you or what the news media tells you, because we know the news media is about as reliable as a migraine headache. So don't listen to these idiots. Every vote counts. They'll tell you that a vote for an independent is a vote for either one that you don't want in the White House. A vote for an independent is a vote for an independent, pure and simple. There's a third party out there. There's the independent party, the Green Party, and we need every vote to count. As I said before, those of you who are former Bernie Sanders supporters, we need you to come on board with Dr. Jill and support her. Every vote counts to push her right into that White House door. Those of you on the Republican side that are now very, very leery of your candidate, we implore you and invite you to come over to Jill Stein's camp. We need you. She would appreciate your being there. Those of you on the Democrat side that are still betwixt and between voting for your candidate because of all of her scandals and craziness, again, you do have an alternative. You do have a choice. Jill Stein is the one woman with the right plan. Join her. Join us. Join this movement to get decency, respectability, kindness, courage, and strength in the White House. And for the ladies, putting Jill Stein in the White House, you'll still get your chance to have that glorious moment when you can say, Madame President, and put the first female president in the White House. Exec, what do you got?
A lot of admiration myself for such a one heck of a woman to be going for the presidency. It's, if anything, in its most simplistic nature, she's not Donald Trump and she's not Hillary Clinton. So that's one thing she has going for her besides all the other wonderful things she's done. I spoke in previous shows about the Green Party and her not being able to get out there into the light of the nation. But after reading a few things on her website, it's come to my to knowledge that 6 more states are actually allowed to vote for Green Party ballot access signature drives in Kansas, Pennsylvania, Nebraska, New Jersey, Vermont, and Missouri. Easily surpassed, and in most cases more than double the required number of signatures to secure a ballot line. That's what she's trying to get done in that last bullet that we mentioned, or I mentioned in the last show. But you shouldn't have to get a certain amount of votes to get yourself recognized. If you're an officially if you're an official recognized party, there is such thing as an independent party, and there is such thing as a green party. It's not some thing that's made up, it's officially there. And you shouldn't have to fight to get it recognized, But there's 6 more states, which is a good thing.
Very good thing.
And of course, like all other campaigns, people are trying to attack her. There's some baseless anti-vaccine attacks against Dr. Jill Stein, distract from her call to end the corrupting influence of the pharmaceutical industry within the FDA. She's trying to stop the corruption with the FDA, and people that are against her might have been Hillary Clinton. People planted
I wouldn't put it past her.
have accused her of pandering to the anti-vaccination movement. These attacks began as she called attention to the corrupting influence of the pharmaceutical industry within the FDA's regulatory process. She has repeatedly articulated her support for vaccinations in interviews and online. The online fact-checking website Snopes.com, SNOPES, they kind of tell you whether something that came out is true or not, has debunked accusations claiming Dr. Stein is opposed to the use of vaccines. A conspiracy theory that Dr. Stein is anti-science is becoming a bizarre new counterpart of the bitter controversy that hounded President Obama's candidacy in 2008. And she noted anyone who supports vaccinations and wishes to prevent dropping vaccination rates should be concerned about the erosion of public trust caused by corrupting influence of the pharmaceutical industry in regulatory agencies and government in general. See, she's all for stopping any kind of corruption that's going on and giving the power to the people to control what goes on in their lives. And also, speaking of what we spoken of before, that it's not fair that they don't have their own conventions. I've checked her events section, and she actually does have a Green Party National Convention coming up, which is a good thing. Saturday, August 6, 2016 at 7 p.m. at the University of Houston ballroom at the U of Houston Student Center in Houston, Texas. She invites you to kick off her, what she calls, quote, party for the revolution, unquote, as she kicks off the final phase of her momentous presidential campaign. This party will start at 7 p.m. in Houston Central Time. So if we
Is this a one-day event, or?
It's actually happening for, I think, a certain amount of days, August 4th through August 7th. The first part of it is actually the Green Party's 2016 annual national meeting, which runs from the 4th through the 7th, and in between that, on the 6th, is the actual national convention in Houston, Texas. So if they actually show that on YouTube, which I get a sneaking suspicion won't be aired just like the Democratic and the Republican one, but if we can find a way to watch it, we will probably most definitely do a show about what we see.
Well, with that, I don't mean to cut in on your time here, but I just would like to say this before I forget it. Mm-hmm. It's still not fair because she's going to be smack dab up against the Olympics. Mm-hmm. And, that's another reason why that this supposed democracy that's supposed to be so great that these politicians are always pushing on other nations has some major bugs in it, because there was the whole month of July. They could have had the Green Party go first, right after the 4th, then come in with the Republicans and ended up with the Democrats. But no, they didn't want to do that. Now she's got to have what she could, put together smack up against the Olympics. That's not fair.
Mm-hmm. You always time stuff wrong, it's not right at all. So more information about this convention, because we want at the TaylorJones show to let people know about her. There will be great music, inspiring speeches, and a chance to get to know Jill's vice presidential running mate. If you can't make it to Houston, they have a link on to find out how to host or join a live stream viewing party. They'll be featuring a select number of house parties during the event. Show us what you got. Also featuring inspiring guest speakers, food and cash bar, music, fun, and you, putting the focus again on the people. Admission to the party is free, although we will ask attendees to make a voluntary donation to the campaign. RSVP below to reserve your ticket. She needs to get out there, and we're definitely gonna click on how to view that live stream so we can watch it for ourselves and see what a third party, a different party other than the RNC and the DNC have for once.
Shameful.
But she's a heck of a woman, and she's got her little feelers out there in her hands in all kinds of pies, the good kind of pies, trying to get all these problems fixed, all this corruption put to a stop. And that's why we at the Phil TaylorJones Show support her, because she's not the career politician, you know. Even if she's been in politics, she's not like the
established.
She's not like the average one. She's not. That's the word I was looking for. She's not an established one. She's trying to make drastic and major changes to how everything is ran, to try to revamp the whole system in and of itself, so that the people are in charge of how the money is spent and how their lives are, you know, handled, and how they are in this economy, and how they can actually, you know, have a life that's meant to be lived, not in poverty. She's trying to make great major changes, and that's what we need, you know. So go Jill Stein 2016, and I'll let you take the show on out.
You want to say something about your former choice for president?
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. We both had said we don't know why we ever supported him in the first place, seeing that he said one time that he hopes that we don't see him as a politician. Well, a little too late. From the very beginning, he turned into the Wiffle Waffle King.
Well, he learned very quickly on that score. He was a very quick study.
And yeah, he learned very quickly. You know, he's just like all the other politicians, and I'm sorry I ever supported him. You know, the only reason we did, because we didn't know what was going on with Jill Stein, and if he gets the presidency, Lord forbid, which it probably won't happen, we'll probably be looking at Hillary. It's going to be a real big mess. You know, he can't even act mature and act his age, 70, I believe it is. And, you know, if you can't even act your own age, he's actually more like his shoe size, then how can you handle a presidency when you don't even know how to have a heart, to have empathy for another person's loss, and have respect for someone that served in the military to, again, support our country. He didn't go into Iraq, or I guess he did, but he was doing it as an American military person. He was supporting our country to try to defend it. You know, if you can't do things like that and support veterans and people in the war, then I'm sorry, you're not supposedly, as one of his children said, you know, and someone that supports America and is trying to make it better, if you can't even do simple things like that. What you do in little, you do in big, and we don't want to see what you do in big, because you're not doing very much good in little. You're making everything so crazy, and you being so dogmatic about everything, like a pit bull, like you said before, not letting go, and having, you know, big party people like Newt Gingrich and the other people I mentioned in the last show trying to help him out. You know, your campaign's in trouble, and I wish he would just give it up, you know. With two people or two clamoring over him, saying, you know, well, you know, he's going to fix everything, and that's not what's going to happen. So we sincerely hope that we can get Jill Stein's information and campaign out there somehow a bit more than it is right now by you guys watching the show, which we appreciate. And I'll pass the finishing of the show off to you.
Thank you. We can't do it alone, even though, you know, we have these billions and billions of viewers. Well, we do appreciate what viewers we have. We need you to tell a friend, tell a relative. When the time comes in November, your friends and relatives, if they don't necessarily have a way to get out and vote, help them. Those of you who can financially add to Jill's cause, please do so. She needs every ounce of help that she can get, because remember, in this wonderful, benevolent democracy that we have, it's a shame, a bloody shame, that she isn't more in the forefront than she is. That we have to put up with people that are involved in scandals with the FBI, with the CIA. We are involved with people who have shady college deals where they're charging people upward of $35,000 and scamming them into oblivion. It's a shame that we have to have two divisive people that are backbiting and causing trouble and dissension, pulling the country apart with their divisiveness. We need Jill Stein to be our president. We need someone to help pull us out of this muck and mire. So I implore you, both the exec and I, to give your support in whichever way you can to this wonderful, wonderful candidate. Jill, the Phil TaylorJones Show endorses you. We back you. In fact, we're with you. I know that's from somebody else's campaign, but we can truthfully say that. We're with you because we know that you are the best possible choice for our country.
Jill,
And-
not Hill.
Jill, not Hill. Right, exactly. So with that in mind, 2 thumbs up, way up for Jill. And we'll be seeing you next time on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Remember, we will be bringing you updates about Jill's campaign, what she's doing from time to time. So keep an eye and an ear peeled for those updates. In this crazy, nutty world we live in, and Lord knows it gets crazier every day, please try to maintain some of your sanity. Keep that smile on your face. Let's dump the hate and increase the peace. And we'll see you next time right here on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Bye-bye now.